Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is going on, A2D family? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. We're live here tonight. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, along with my co-host, Jake Friel. And of course, joining us tonight is Mr. No Notes himself, Thomas Arnone. Thanks for joining us tonight, Tom, and thank you to everybody out there. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Our show is brought to you tonight by our doc, make him your doc, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy. You can find them at specializedphysicaltherapy.com and also in 3 locations, Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton. And that is in New Jersey there. Check him out. He is our doc. Make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal. And also check out our gutter guys at Ambuck Services. They are the gutter and deck guys at South Jersey. Give them a call at 856-879-5530. And also check them out at Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Also check out all of our A2D merchandise at phillydrinkers.com or any social media affiliate. Check them out, Philly Drinkers. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Wow. So once again, starting the week off talking about a loss. We're 1-3-1, gentlemen. And everybody out there, we're all reeling. We're reeling. And we're trying to find some hope out there, but we're feeling it. We talked before the show, we try to get pumped up about it. And it's like, look, this team is just dealing with injuries and it gets tiresome. Gets tiresome, does it not? So, Jake, how you feeling tonight, my man?
I guess you could say I'm kind of excited for Sunday. I'm kind of expecting a slaughter. But again, we'll talk about it as we get more into it. But I'm good for now. I'm good for now.
I hear you. And I always get excited as the weekend comes because it's football. But, yeah, when you're playing like this, it gets a little frightening. Mm-hmm. Tom, how are you feeling tonight, man? Thanks for joining us, brother.
Yeah, you guys, you continue to thank me, and I'm here every Friday. You know what I mean? So, it's
your dedication, though. We have to let the people know that.
I appreciate it. Thank yous are always a great time, right? Everybody loves a good thank you. You know what I mean? You feel like you're welcome. You feel like you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. But what is the issue? And I'm not in a good mood because it's the same story. It's the same freaking story. Like all week, is Alshon Deshaun going to play? Is Alshon Deshaun going to play? Neither one are going to play again. I mean, we're back to this again, where it's just I don't know what to say anymore. Now, Lane's not playing. Pryor's out. It's a mess. Now another offensive line. What is the 6 different offensive line to start? I mean, that's a disgrace. We're not going to win anything under them circumstances. And especially now we're going against a team like this. Now, that's probably why we're going to win. But we'll save that for later. But I'm not happy, Jimmy. I'm not happy. It's the same story. We all expected more this year, and we're not getting it.
I'm with you on that, Tom. And what's going on, Joseph, and everybody else out there? It's actually been 5, and that's embarrassing as hell. 5 out of 6 games coming up that we will have offensive line. We had it one time starting back-to-back. That's not good. We talked about it in the draft. We've talked about how many shows where we needed to provide depth. And even if you drafted some young guys, you knew they wouldn't be ready. So why not add veterans? Well, here we are. Lane Johnson's out. We'll get to that poll question in a second here. This was something, obviously, we talked about before the show was made, but keeping Lane Johnson out. Matt Pryor, though, out with an illness. So not only are we missing our right tackle, but we're missing our right guard. John, what's going up? I'm losing my mind. That's what's up. I'm literally ready to punch through this wall every time I talk about the Eagles because, this guy's out, this guy's out. Now, there's 7 guys out, 4 of them on offense. We talked about the 2 linemen there. Tom had mentioned the 2 receivers missing. And then you're missing a linebacker, a corner, and a safety. You got Riley, Maddox is out again, and Epps. So, son of what's going on, Vincent? I can't take it, man. So, Jake, how are you feeling? One of the guys we actually added that I liked a couple weeks ago, somebody that started, 47 games out of 60 that I believe he's played in, Jamon Brown. he's going to get his first start at right guard. I actually just practiced a couple days here because he had an illness. How are you feeling about Jamon Brown at right guard and Jack Driscoll at right tackle there?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Jack Driscoll just because he's a rookie tackle. Obviously, we have an idea of what we're getting from him. He's played actually pretty well when Lane was out, so but we'll see there. But I think with Brown, I'm kind of It's just another piece on the line. If he plays well, good. If not, then I mean, we're stuck with what we got. So.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we have to roll with. I'm kind of glad it's not somebody just getting thrown in there, or we're not having to just deal with Matt Pryor there at right guard, because obviously he's been the most of anyone struggling. He's definitely had the most. That question down there, Robbie Anderson might struggle, but I would probably go with him. Anyways, I'm questioning what the hell, else we would do. But Jamon Brown looked okay at practice. Some more practice videos to get people losing their mind. I'm just happy that he's not out there failing. So, great. Tom, how are you feeling about this new offensive line for this week?
Terrible. All right. I mean, let's look at it. I mean, okay, the fifth offensive line in 6 games. I don't care that some guys have played well. This is a Baltimore defense that gets after you. All right. They're great up front. They're great on all levels. All right. And it's a different task. It's a different task. I'm sorry. I mean, I know Pittsburgh's defense is good. It's a whole nother level of good. All right. That's my opinion on the difference of the two defenses. So, I mean, we're going to find out. But there's a track record of not being good without Lane Johnson and not winning football games. So, there's a track record there. So, am I comfortable with it? Absolutely not. I don't care. Jake Driscoll's played good. I'm not saying he hasn't. But am I comfortable without now my best offensive lineman not playing again? No, I'm not. I'm not. We're not good enough football team to just be next man up. We're 1-3-1. We're not good enough to say, we can get through. We'll be all right. I don't know. It's just another loss, and you can't continue just to lose important pieces of your football team and expect to turn it around. I don't know where you start to turn it around. I don't know. But, I'm not comfortable. No, not at all. If we're playing Cincinnati, we'd probably tie again. Maybe I'll be a little bit more comfortable.
I hear you, and I agree. I'm not very comfortable, but talk about young guys or new guys getting a chance to step up and probably playing better than the ones we had just because these guys are hungry at least. But you talk about it last week, unacceptable. You allowed, 5 sacks on Carson. He's been sacked like 19 times this year. Unacceptable. He's leading the league in interceptions with 9. So he's got no time, or whether or not it's that or he's holding on to it. It's one or the other, So it seems that he's rolling out more. It seems like they're starting to use him correctly, but we don't have a damn line that stays healthy. We don't have weapons that stay healthy. And, we've had one person step it up and, hey, Fulgham, 2 games. That's great, man. But, we're going to need more from that. Let's see more production. And, Greg Ward, keep doing your thing. You step up and just make sneaky little plays here and there. And, then you talk about Ertz. Please, God, step it up. Until after the bye. Rob, and we're going to jump into that in a second here. So you're talking about all the, injuries across the board. It's tough. But that offensive line, one of the things that is a problem with all these sacks and turnovers that we're talking about, is the fact that we can't stay healthy there. So the poll question was made last night, getting ready for the show, before I knew that Lane Johnson was actually out. So, I thought in my mind, this was something that we should probably just consider doing, because you heard that he got a second opinion, and you heard that, he doesn't need surgery. He's not getting shut down, but he's going to have to play through the pain and just rest it. Oh, that's fantastic news. So every game we get to watch him go in and out is what they're essentially saying. No. So I obviously agree to the poll and want him to sit out. Tom, what are your thoughts on the poll question? And would you sit Lane Johnson out until after the bye? Rob says almost a month here. They can't win without him. Sure, I know, but at least we have Driscoll that has proven he can at least fill in and be okay. I know this week it's going to be a tough task, but he's had a couple so far. So I just think in the long run, man, you got to think of Lane Johnson's career. And sure, he might jack himself up for this year, but he could literally end himself because he's had problems like this. So it's just in my mind that a few games, we got to tough it out, dude, as much as it sucks. So, Tom, what are your thoughts on the poll question?
Well, it depends what direction we want to go this year, right? I mean, that's my thoughts on the poll. So I disagree to it if I'm trying to win football games. You know, like Rob said, a month. I mean, then I'm in a different situation. I'm not trying to win football games. I'm looking for a top 5 pick, right?
Yeah.
So it just depends. I mean, I'm going to say disagree. You know, this week, sure. I don't know if I can. I don't know how long I can leave him out for, though. You know, so I mean, okay, this week you don't have a choice, but I, hope maybe to get him back next week, maybe, but probably not. But it might be out of our hands. So, I'll say disagree because I want to win football games. But that's the only reason. I still want to win a division. Nerds talk about the draft this time of year. I'm not. I don't consider myself a nerd. So I want to win football games. That's during season. That's where my focus is on. It's not on top 5. Top 5 feels good in April and May when it's coming up, right? And you're like, oh, top 5, it's great, right? But right now, that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. So right now, you want to try to still win a shitty division. So I disagree. But could it be you go agree and he sits out, Driscoll plays well enough, you sneak a win or two out? I don't know. You sneak a win or two out, and then it doesn't matter? I mean, sure, that'd be great. But I don't, I also don't know how that's happening either right now. So no, I disagree with it because I need Lane Johnson, but then you also need Lane Johnson to be healthy. So a disagree this week means nothing. You know what I mean? Because he's just out. He's gonna be out anyway. So next week, the week after, I say it's a week by week thing. Like if he feels good enough to play, then run him out there.
For sure. And, he is a tough SOB. So, I mean, he's not somebody that can't go out and do that. So I think maybe the thought process here is, obviously today he's out. What I was thinking yesterday, was the fact that, like you said, we need him for the whole season. Now, in these games that he would be out until the bye, that would be the Ravens, which he's obviously out for now. But then that would be the Giants and the Cowboys. So 2 defenses that are struggling, but, then you get the bye. So right now he's missing 1. I think tomorrow or Sunday, they'll probably decide if they want to put him on the IR, because if he were to miss that amount of games, you might as well put him on the IR, allow someone else to come up. But if not, then you're probably right. Then he's probably going to come back if he's healthy enough, let it go week by week basis. So I see what you're saying. You definitely want him. But my thought process is this division sucks so badly that you could possibly sneak by with a couple wins without him and then still be in first place. But I definitely hear what you're saying. So
where are they coming at? Where are they coming from? I mean, who?
Giants and Cowboys.
Okay, maybe we're 1-3-1. Who the hell are we to say? Oh, take another guy off the line. So we all talk about needing we need Carson to have his guys around him, the best talent around him, and we just keep plucking guys off. Not us per se, but we just keep plucking guys off and thinking it's just Rodgers does it. He's got guys around him. I mean, it's a joke. Not what you're saying, just in general. We can't keep losing guys and expect to compete at a high level or even at a shit level.
Yeah.
It's going to be
I agree with you. I just think that if he's actually banged up, he cannot re-injure this damn thing. That's only my thought process on it, So I don't want to see him out, but if he gets hurt and he's out for the rest of the season, we are effed. We're screwed. We're done for. So that's my only thought process, and I'm scared as hell because if he's going to have to put up with this right now, we're going into week 6. Damn, he's got 12 more weeks, and if we talk playoffs, oh man, another 5 weeks there if we can, dude. So dude, it was tough for me to even agree to disagree with myself making the damn thing. So I liked it. I was like, yes, this will be a good one. So I love it, Tom. So Jake, we got a split here. Why don't you tell us what your thought process is on this poll?
I mean, listening to both your guys' points, I understand both sides, but at the same time, you can't risk injuring that ankle that much more and possibly making it a possible, I'm not going to say career-ending injury, but a career-shortening injury. You can't risk that with your best offensive lineman, so I'm going to have to lean towards agree with the poll. Obviously, it's not going to help us in the win column at all, but again, it's tough for me to even find a win for us down the stretch, even if we have Lane. Maybe the Giants, maybe the Cowboys, even with the Red Rocket and Andy Dalton. Look at the weapons that they got. They're loaded all over. So it's just tough. Even if we have Lane, it's just tough for me to pull out even a handful of wins moving forward in the season. So even if we had Lane back, I think it would help, sure. But again, how much would it really help, if that makes sense?
I hear you, man. And look, I saw the comment down there, watch this be the game where we win. And like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. But I hear exactly what you're saying. I feel like the Joker when I get ready before the show, because I'm just like, looking at the rest of the second half of this season. Because it's like, can we get, Tom just said it. Can we even get, that's sad that we're sitting here questioning if we can get some wins against the Giants and Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Well, the second half of the season, are you kidding me? Because right now we've got one win, and we're almost done with our first half. And you're talking about the Cardinals, the Saints, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Browns, dude. Yeah. So I'm with you, Jake. It's hard for me to look at this schedule and be like, yep, I'm going to come out here and just be positive as hell. And here we go, Birds. And it's like, this sucks ass. We had very high expectations for this team. And this is what we 1-3-1. Went outright. Yo, Mario, he's going big or going home. I dig it, man. Wow. I like it. And you'll hear our score predictions about 20 minutes till 11. We'll get to those. But, throughout the show, you'll get a feel for how we're feeling about this game. Sure, we're all scared as hell, but you never know with this team when their backs are against the wall. So, I'm excited, but I'm also scared because we talked about that new offensive line. And then you talk about their defensive line. The one good thing I could say is that Derek Wolfe is doubtful. I'm not sure if he's actually out or not. I forgot to check their injury report, but that would be nice to have someone like him out. Jihad Ward instead of him would be much of an upgrade for our chances. But, they've got Calais Campbell still there, Brandon Williams in the middle. They've outside linebackers and, Judon and McPhee. Oh, my Lord. And then, of course, in the middle there, Patrick Queen and LJ Fort. We know those guys very well. It feels like every week we're talking about somebody we shoulda, coulda, woulda had, but now let's just talk about the elephant in the room. No, not an elephant actually in my room. Howie, the asshole, the guy that needs to get suplexed through a flaming table. Yes, that guy. I literally every day, I saw someone ask the question earlier, so we're gonna get into it. Adam Kaplan now said, after hearing this online, how much truth is to it, that Howie somehow has some kind of say in who is being played on game day. I don't know how much there is to that, but the drafting, I totally get it. Now, it's talked about that Jim Schwartz said he wanted Kenneth Murray in the first. We've talked about that name before. You know how I feel about Rager. But in the second round, you guys know I love Jeremy Chin. So now it's being said that Jim Schwartz wanted Jeremy Chin, but we took a quarterback. What the hell is going on, this dysfunction? And we talked about this, but do you think that they do last? Is this all going to be here next year, Tom? Are we looking at Howie, Jim, Doug? Because it just sounds like a complete shit show at this point.
It's a power struggle. We're back at it again. It's exactly what it is. I believe every report. I believe every single solitary report. I don't care where it's coming from. I don't care. I believe it all. I believe he is telling them who's dressing on game day. I believe it's in his contract that he has full control over player personnel. So that's already in his contract. So I totally believe that he's going to believe his way and not trust guys that are on the coaching staff, right? For input draft-wise, obviously. And you know how I thought about the pick of Jalen Reagor. I thought it was a reach in the first round. It's a reach. I don't care what anybody wants to say. It's a freaking reach. And maybe he can play.
I had to straighten back.
I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. Hopefully he can. I'm not rooting against him. But we're going to see a guy this weekend, obviously, Patrick Queen and Kenneth Murray. Regardless, there's guys out there that have been super productive, and we're at. So could you see different? Could you see a changeover in Howie not being here? I would hope that Jeffrey Lurie's smart enough to see what's going on here, at least control wise, and get control back of his football team, or he allows the Super Bowl to cloud his judgment, and he continues to trot Howie Roseman out as the general manager of this football team. So I know Ryan's talking about imagine a team with Murray Chin. Yeah, I don't even got to get to the second round. I don't even care about that. You know what I mean? Not I care about drafting Jalen Hurts, but the fact of the matter is I don't care about anything out in terms of this outside of the first round because of all the stuff in the first round. The second round always can be a little crappy, shootish, in the third, etc. But in the first, I got to nail mine. I got to nail it.
Mhm.
I got to get a Pro Bowl caliber player. I can't rely on to do that in later rounds. Well, here we are again.
Yeah, I'd love to have these guys on defense. They would be great additions. But you know how I felt, and I've let it be known that I had in the mock us trading back to get Rager. So it wasn't even us taking him at 21. So I agree with you in that sense. And if you stayed there, you could have taken one of those great linebackers who are producing and then some. So I'm with you. I think Rager's going to be great in the long run. But right now, we're reeling and we're feeling it. And everybody's hurt. And it's like this kid's a victim. Everybody's a victim of this. And it's bullshit, man. And it starts from the top. So I'm not even mad at these players. I'm pissed off at Howie Roseman and his decisions. And I just – whether he even be probably in charge of, who's going out there and doing what in practice. It's like, you need to be blowing the whistle, dude, to play that Jalen Rager hurts his shoulder in practice. It's like, you got to be doing these little stupid ass things are killing us. Penalties on 4th down. So we have to punt it to tie. Like, what this team, I feel like I'm a young man again watching my Eagles. Like, here we go. Sunday. We're going to hope for a win here. It actually was better then because I just was like, we're going to get our ass kicked, but we might play with some heart and beat some ass, but son of a bitch, I'm getting mad. I can feel it. And Jake, why don't you just give us your thoughts on Howie Roseman and what this shit show here is going on and if Jeffrey Lurie is going to get his head out of his ass?
Yeah, and just to speak on Jeffrey Lurie, I think his biggest detriment more than anything, I respect him for it, but at the same time, he's loyal to a default, which helps, and sometimes in our case right now, it hurts. And how he's been with this organization now for 20 plus years, starting as an assistant, moved all the way to the top of the totem pole to be a GM and have final say over talent and stuff like that. And his ego, he's a big ego-driven guy. And like Tom said, with all the reports coming out, whether they're true or not, I believe a lot of them. And it's just one of these things to where, and I might sound crazy, but this is just how I feel. I don't want the Eagles to make the playoffs this year, and here's why. Because if the Eagles do make the playoffs this year, I feel like it makes an excuse for Howie Roseman being like, oh, it was COVID this year. We had our backs against the wall all year. We didn't have a proper training camp. But, hey, look, we still made the playoffs. I brought the players in. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Jeff. I'm just saying. And he's like, oh, well, that's a good point. I'll give you another year. And then when you want to basically build for the future, right? You want to get all these assets and trade all these guys away, which is going to happen because we're in terrible cap situation next year. Thanks, Howie. But it's just one of these things to where, in my opinion, I really think it's one of these times to where we need a major, just a complete climate change as far as where this organization is and where this organization is headed in the future. Because I think if we keep Howie Roseman and a lot of these other guys, it's just going to hurt us in the long run. And we're going to be in the bottom of the NFL for a long, long time. And the big reason why I say to not make the playoffs is heads need to roll. It's that simple, at least to me. Because if you make the playoffs, you're just making excuses for a lot of these terrible coaches and GMs and whoever to basically come back and be like, all right, I bought myself another year. So that's the reason I don't want them to make the playoffs. I need heads to roll this offseason, and I'm not going to be nice about it. It's what needs to happen. And I know, obviously, more than anything, I would love to see this team make the playoffs and make a deep playoff run and do well. Everyone wants to see that. But again, you have to think what's best for the franchise heading into the future, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely. But, as Tom said earlier in the show, I'm not ready to think of draft. I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I'm ready for this team to get their shit together. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting sick and tired of expecting and then seeing something different. And, Ryan, you had a great point. I was laughing my ass off seeing that comment. But, he said how he's heading toward the Brian Colangelo territory. Mm-hmm. And my thought process is, Jake, that whether or not we make the playoffs or not, they're going to use that damn excuse anyway. They're going to hit us with, oh, it was COVID and the injuries. And yeah, no shit, Sherlock. We know. We watched it. And guess what? Because you suck at drafting, that's why we're getting our ass kicked even more. Yep. So you talk about Chase Claypool. We talked about every week. We talk, oh, T. Higgins. Oh, there's Logan Wilson. How many effing players do we have to talk about that we passed on? Yes, we know. Jalen Hurts. Mr. 3-4 snaps a game. Oh, second round pick. What? Okay, it's already done. It's done. He's an Eagle now. So what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts? Should we just, in my thought process, I think we've talked about this. Use him if you're going to use the second round pick on him. You don't have to take Carson out. I mean, maybe a couple times, but I mean, put him in at the same time, some Taysom Hill action, whatever, dude. The kid's talented. Jake, what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts and how his usage has been? Yeah,
again, for a second round pick, you have to play him on the field. And talking about the report earlier from I forget who made the report earlier about how he choosing the personnel on game day. You almost feel like he's trying to justify that pick to where he's almost like, Doug, you got to get him out there. You got to get him out there. Now, again, he made a nice throw to Richard Rodgers, a nice 18-yard seed, which was nice to see. But again, it's only for 2 to 3 snaps a game, and you're spending a second-round pick on a guy to play 2 or 3 snaps a game? Is that what we're doing? Now, again, I said it, and a lot of us said it here at A2D, to when this kid was drafted. I have nothing against Jalen Hurts, nothing against the kid at all. He's a great kid. He's a great guy. But it's just a terrible, terrible situation. Because, in my opinion, the kid has talent. And he's just in a shitty situation again, similar to what he was in Alabama. So I feel bad for the kid more than anything, to be honest with you, because when you saw him make that throw and you saw him come back to the sideline, you saw him just do a little like, I should be out here. You know what I mean? And it's not him being disrespectful to Doug or the organization, anything like that. It's just natural competitiveness. He's a competitor. And he came from a winning program in Alabama, and he did really well his 1 year at Oklahoma. So, I mean, the guy, what do you call it? The guy works hard, and the guy's shown he can deal with adversity. But at a certain point, it becomes like a boiling point, right? Then I don't see him making like an outburst or anything like that. But again, when you put a guy in like Jalen Hurts, who's a rookie, and you take Carson Wentz out, who's in rhythm, that also messes with Carson's rhythm as well. So there's a bunch of gives and takes here and there. So at this point, Jimmy, I think I'd give him more snaps, to be honest, because if we keep losing games, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Just bring in some more of the young guys. Why not? Can't hurt. I mean, Travis Fulgham, again, it's only 2 games, but he seems to be, I'm not going to say he's like a Pro Bowl caliber talent, but I mean, he's shown to be a pretty solid player. Now, can he do it the next 3 or 4 games? Maybe. Who knows? Or maybe he just fizzles out and he's just another guy that had a splash in the pan couple of games and that was it. But again, it's just, at this point, why not?
Yeah. And, he was a second round pick. And we've talked about Howie. We talked about what he wants. So, yeah, he's probably forcing, you got to play him. But the thing is, let's use him as a weapon. Let's make defenses afraid of the fact that, with the ball in his hands, he could run with it, and then you can add in some throws. We finally saw that first throw that you spoke of, and it's like he walked over, he said, like, too easy, and he was all pumped up. And it's like, look, man, that was an easy throw, yes, but reading the whole defense, what it is in a trick play, we'd see how you do a little differently. But I just feel that, this is how he's doing. I'm pissed off, but I want to see this offense start doing stuff. And, you saw we've given up 150 rush yards to wide receivers, 3 touchdowns. Unacceptable, man. So why can't we start doing some stuff? Tom, what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts and all around just, the trick plays, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all know how we felt about the pick, but I'll say this. I'm agreeing with it, with what the people are saying in here. Brendan Casey, the Jalen Hurts pick wasn't a part of a diabolical plan by the Eagles organization to force out Wentz. They're just stupid. He said it wasn't a part of a diabolical plan. I actually, Brendan, think the other way. I actually do think it's a diabolical
Me too.
plan to get him out of the organization.
He watched the Super Bowl and he got excited.
And move the money. This is what they want to do. They want to move the money. That's the way. Everybody's like, how are they going to get under the cap next year? You want to know how?
Yeah.
You know how? Yeah. I'm not sitting here telling you that's what I want. And then I'm telling you that's realistically a realistic thing. I'm not putting this out there. This isn't breaking on A2D. I'm telling you it's realistic that Carson Wentz might not be the quarterback here next year because they are setting him up for goddamn failure. Look at what they're putting around him. If that isn't a full setup for you to fail, to move you, now that doesn't make sense, right? Because then you're not going to get back what he's worth, right? But I think that's just a screw up because of the injuries. But I do believe that they drafted him where we were all like, "Why? You're drafting the replacement? You just signed the guy." And I truly believe that draft was a oh my God, I can't believe he got here type thing. And now I might move my quarterback next year just to try to shed a ton of money. And now that deal is going to be a good deal for a team that needs a franchise quarterback. It's a mess. But in terms of Hurts getting some snaps and having some trickery and some things and some RPOs and shit like that, go ahead. You're not lighting the world on fire offensively anyway. You have so many holes offensively. So any way you can spice it up and make people have the game plan for some other things, go right ahead at this point. Who cares?
Yeah. We need to have, balls. We need to just do everything we can because it, like you said, I feel like that. Like I said earlier, I feel like back in the day where I'm just like, oh, come on, dude. Like, and I agree with Bryce. I agree with,
I agree with all of them. They're saying that. I agree with them.
This is nuts. And I think, honestly, like Tom just said, it got to that pick. And it was like,
Ryan. Sorry, yes, Ryan. Yes, that's exactly what I think. We're right there with. I'm right.
Exactly. They don't care.
They're like, screw it. He's such a dork. He's such a nerd that he wants. Now he's thinking top 5 picks. I know that this guy thinks because he's so strapped, right? He's so strapped financially that now he has to think about losing as a way to get better quicker. Yeah. That's the position he's in, and it's not. I go on for days, but listen, perception. It's reality.
Yep.
Everybody lift up a couple rocks. You know what I'm saying? Lift up a couple rocks, see what you find underneath. Open your blinds a little bit, see what's out there. All right, perception's reality. And what reality's happening here is the stab in the back. The reality's happening is shedding cap space, clearing cap space. That's all reality.
Oh, these guys are gone next year regardless.
I'm sure.
I mean, a lot of guys are. And I saw somebody's comment earlier, and it's like, look, there's going to be plenty of big names that are going to be gone, and maybe even some surprise ones to some people, maybe even people like Brandon Graham, and it just sucks because Howie Roseman's an ass clown. And I think that he literally got excited when that pick was there, and he's been watching Lamar Jackson, watching Patrick Mahomes, and he's like, oh yeah, let me get some of that. So here we are. And now we have this quarterback behind the guy that you just paid $128 million. And now I can't take it, man. I'm really pissed off. And I thought I wasn't going to be this pissed off at this point because I thought Carson was going to take it well. We were going to be healthy. No. And this is our worst fears coming to life right now. So Tom's right. There's a possibility. It's very realistic that he might be gone. And that's scary as hell to say that because I love the kid.
Listen, guys, how I feel about Carson Wentz. All right. Yeah. Somebody said, the whole league's filled. The better quarterbacks are guys who can run around. Well, he can run around. I don't know why that, so I don't want him going anywhere. I'll build my whole franchise around the guy. But I'm just telling you how the nerd thinks.
We got to get rid of the nerd first.
And Ryan said, the proof's been on Doug's face every time he's been in front of the media since the selection. Yeah. Okay? Since the selection, just look at his demeanor. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sucks. He's not that same lovable character that we're all, part of the city. Makes everybody feel like they're part of the team, and the team feels like they're part of the, everybody's a leader, and hey, next man, underdog, whoa, wearing shirts. We're all going crazy. This isn't a time to be wearing shirts. This isn't a time to be losing our minds. We're 1-3-1.
Yep.
I'm going to come out here. I'm going to try to be real every week and tell you how much I love my team. But I'm also going to be real when I'm really scared that my team sucks ass. And let's be real, they suck ass. So we need to hope that these guys get healthy and blah, blah, blah. But not Alshon and Deshaun. I think they could actually help when they come back if they are healthy. The more weapons, the merrier. Mm-hmm. But they're gone next year. That's clear as day. You don't get anything from letting them go now. I'm sure they've tried to trade them for dirt, but nobody wants to give up anything for those contracts. I bet you're pissed. Holy shit, Harlem Cowboy. Wow. And that's one of the things when I talk about Lane Johnson. It's scary, but I literally went through it. I'm like, well, we got Daniel Jones, we got Kyle Allen, and we got Andy Dalton leading the way for these teams. Wow. So looks like this is going to be a showdown till the end. So they're going to, I made a post the other day, laughable. It's NFC East, the only division where you win and you make the playoffs, or you lose and you get a top 10 pick. Like literally, if you don't win, like this is embarrassing, dude. But prayers go out to Dak Prescott. Dear God, that was rough watching that. But, just like they picked up the play as soon as he was off the field, we got to move it on. And, this gives us a much better chance. Now, Andy Dalton isn't horrendous, though.
No.
He got the job done at times with a crappy team. He's got a much, much, much better team that he's on now. And, my God, he's got some weapons to throw to. He's got a running back. So it's still a good team, minus their defense, thank God. How do you see the chances now, Tom, for the Eagles? Really, the question's about the Cowboys. But do you see us now having a better chance at least now, because it was looking grim coming up playing them? How do you feel now about that whole situation with Dak and Andy?
Yeah, definitely a better chance, obviously. I mean, Dak gets a lot of shit, but Dak's a damn good quarterback in this league. And he's tough, and he's durable, and in my opinion, still is durable. He's a durable guy. That shit happens to guys. But at the end of the day, they're not as good. Not even close. I mean, their defense is already a train wreck, and now their offense, nobody can sit here and tell me it's going to be as good as it was.
Right.
I like Andy Dalton. I don't think Andy Dalton's anything to put your nose up to. You know what I mean? Andy Dalton's the second best quarterback in his division right this second. Still, you know what I mean? Their backup jumped every other quarterback in the division outside of Carson Wentz. So he's the second best quarterback in the division with arguably the best weapons, not arguably, with the best offensive weapons in the division. So I think they're still going to score points. Now, can they stop anybody? That's going to be the difference maker. And can we score enough? These are big-time things that are concerning. They're concerning if you want to be a playoff team. I don't know what I want anymore. Before all the injuries again tonight and today, right? I would have told you I was guaranteeing it up, and I might still be. But again, and now everybody's feeling the same way out there. The family that's chiming in, we're all feeling it. We're feeling conspiracy. Now it's like election time. We're feeling conspiracies. we're feeling power trips, which. We all know Howie. Listen, I always tell people, you really believe this is true? Tom, you really believe this is true? And I'll tell you, when there's smoke, there's fire. I believe that's 100% fucking true. So shut up, all right? These guys just want to bend over for Howie every opportunity they get instead of realizing that he screwed up this football team. And only idiots or blind loyalists don't want to admit it. Right? So don't tell me about 2017 when it comes to the general manager. He doesn't get a free pass on sucking, on flat out being terrible. So you want to talk about your coach and you want to talk about everybody else and Jim Schwartz and blame all these other freaking people? You got to blame the guy shopping for the damn groceries.
Yeah, that's the truth. He's putting, trash out there, and I'm not calling our players trash, but there's much better selections that could have been made at positions that we needed. So, I agree with a lot of what Ryan is saying and things that we've been saying throughout the weeks. Howie's a jackass and he has too much say. Jeffrey Lurie, you're pretty much at fault here, man. You're the one that owns this damn team. You need to step in and be like, whoa, dude, you are effing this team up. And I don't know if Doug needs to grow some balls and go to him and be like, yo, look at this shit. This guy's coming to me on Sunday and having me play these dudes and not playing, and I love what Ryan said there, not playing him, because he wants to lose in a sense. And it's like,
how do you think that's going to go, Jimmy? How do you think that's going to go? You think the same Doug Peterson that came out and gave his assistants a vote of confidence at the end of the year last year, and they're fired the next day? That same guy? So who's he got say with anywhere? Obviously, he has no say with Jeffrey Lurie, and he has no say with Howie Roseman. So it's Howie and Jeffrey in a tree, and everybody else has no control. Okay, that's a dictatorship almost.
You know what it is? Honestly, I think what happened was Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, they brought in Doug Peterson. Everybody said, like, no way in hell this guy is ever going to succeed. No one saw a second-year, coach winning a Super Bowl. So this guy wins, and in their mind, that was all them. they're the ones that added all those pieces from behind there, because Doug had all, his team, but they were all injured. So they replaced it with the players. They knew what they were doing. So now Howie's a genius to Jeffrey Lurie. Well, we've seen in the last couple of years what's happened since that Super Bowl, and everyone's still sitting there about 17, dude. I don't give a damn, dude. Am I ever going to forget that moment? Hell no, dude. I love that. I love seeing the highlights. I'm always going to enjoy it. But guess what? The football team needed the next day. Well, they could enjoy it that offseason, but that next season, it was over. Who gives a shit if you won? Dude, you need to pull your head out of your ass.
Yeah, you get one free season now. Like, you get one free year. You know what I mean? Like, right after, you have a free year in a way, right? So, Jimmy, I think me and you will both, and I know Jake will too, is that it's not that we don't love 2017. It's not that we don't love every player from 2017. It's not that we don't love every part of the organization from 2017. It's that we want to relive 2017 again. That's the difference. If you don't want to relive 2017 again, then allow Howie Roseman full control. I'm not saying he needs to be fired, so to speak. I'm just telling you he can't have full control. So if knowing how Jeffrey Lurie is loyal to him, he's not going to get fired, right? So what's the next best thing we can get as fans? Take away full control.
Put him in the corner again.
So I'm just going through Instagram real quick, and Philly Eagles News is a pretty reliable source as far as Eagles stuff goes. He says there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There was an article written. There's one segment that I do want to bring up. It's a little highlighted section. Howie does all the talking in the draft meetings. He would be aided typically by Joe Douglas and Andrew Berry. Doug's preferences would barely be considered. Barely.
I just want to kick his ass. I could see his snarky little ass
I
sitting there, dude.
I told you guys the football guys have no control over decisions. I told you this
Unreal.
last night. I've been telling you this since Howie Roseman is at control. You can tell by the picks he makes, the reaches that he has. If football guys had their say in this, you're taking SEC guys. You know what I mean? You're not staying in the Pac-12 all the time. You're taking guys that you watch all the time dominate at a high level, right? And you can tell. You can just smell it. You can smell it that Jim Schwartz doesn't have say over this. You think Jim Schwartz doesn't want linebackers? You know what I mean? You think Jim Schwartz didn't want corners for a couple of years? You think he didn't want these things? So it's allowing a guy to make every decision. And now, because they won together and they got to the plateau together, Howie's ego gets in the way. And he wants to be better than Doug and smarter than Doug. And this is where you see this. This is where you see it. That he'll purposely probably go against them. Listen, that's not kosher to winning, guys. That's not kosher to doing anything but being a top 5 pick the next year. That's kosher. That's what that happens. So people can tell me otherwise. You got to strip it away. And that doesn't mean fire. That means you need to bring in other people that are football guys that have control. And if I'm Doug Peterson, I'm not signing another contract here without control of some sort over my roster.
Hell yeah. Just like what is it? Andy Reid went and he did some things there. He's not like a Bill O'Brien, but he definitely has some damn pull. So I think he needs some say. Howie needs less say. We've talked about that week in, week out. Because Howie sucks at drafting. He sucks at figuring things out, and he's hit on a couple. But that's probably more so other people telling him about him. Honestly, it's not him. And this guy at this point has driven me to a point where I want to lose my mind because, like Tom said, we want to get back to 17. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Yep. So what are you doing here, man? And week in and week out, I just literally can't take it because we say these things every week, and then I'm sitting there Sunday like, are you shitting me? And I wish the show was the next day because I'm like, did we not just talk about this? Like, oh man. Howie Roseman and his relationship with the coaches, Greg Simpagana, and that's not good. Whatever's going on is finally coming out. And like Tom said, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, I trust a buddy of mine, Chris, on Twitter, and he posted that out there about, what was going on. And I instantly was like, oh, yep, I bet this son of a bitch. And Now you hear Adam Kaplan talking about it. I've been here. I heard Sal Powell was talking about it. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. So seems like we're in a bad situation. So I totally understood where Jake was coming from when he said about not making the playoffs, because it's like lose at this point. You know, like
I will read this off to you. Comparing Howie Roseman and other GMs, he's more involved than most. Most GMs would meet with the coaches and see what they need and do what they need and then get the hell out of the way and let you coach, right? Doesn't do that. Doesn't do that. What about LJ Fort? People say, well, he was cut to make room for Orlando Scandrick signing. But this was a move every non-player in the building knew was coming. But above all else, Howie Roseman won the compensatory pick that came with cutting Fort. The fourth round pick that came with cutting Fort was nullified when the 49ers cut Jordan Matthews in late October. So to gain that pick back, Andrew Sendeo was cut prior to the Week 10 deadline. No, Sendeo was bad and deserved to be cut. Now you're seeing Fort doing great things in Baltimore and maybe a huge factor in Sunday's game with Eagles linebackers, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, the list goes on things that have happened here. Okay, like there's too many things that connect the dots.
Yeah, they all connect to a big picture of a giant FU Howie Roseman. I literally, it's getting worse.
Here's one more, Jimmy, and I'll leave you guys with this one, okay?
Oh, go ahead.
Jeff McClain, right? Jim Schwartz on Eagles allocation of resources or lack thereof toward linebacker position. We paid Nigel Bradham. We traded 2 linebackers this offseason. Follow-up pointed out Bradham's extension was 2 years ago. Rookies aren't playing on D. Schwartz, I don't make those we're talking about guys playing, guys. We are talking about players playing. I don't make those decisions. Time's fucking yours if this guy still deserves to be here. It's ridiculous.
Not at all.
Football guys dictate who plays on Sunday. Are we okay?
Nope. And I literally think that this is scary. This is not good, Eagles fans.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't expect to go this direction. This is all, not new. Everybody, all three of us smelled this. I know Ryan's been a part of this conversation. We've all been a part of this conversation for a long time, and a lot through quarantine. Jake remembers, right? We've had these conversations. We've smelled it as a whole here at A2D, and I'm almost happy that we know what the fuck we're talking about. Okay, I'm so excited that this is coming out more and more because we smelled it. It was so clear as day that, like, what are you doing? What's that roster move for? Why did Matt Collins play so much last year? Think about these things. Think about it. He's telling you who to play.
Yep.
Like, is any football coach in America okay with that?
No, they shouldn't be. And Doug Peterson and Jim Schwartz, Tom hit the nail on the head. Look at them, man. You can see in their demeanor when they're talking. And Jim Schwartz, man, I feel like he wants to kick Howie's ass. Because like Tom just said, he sat there and he said, and he was like, I don't make those decisions. And when I heard him, I saw his face. I was like, holy shit, this is bad. And, we should be worried because there is no coach in the world that should be okay with this. Doug Peterson should be like, oh, hell no, dude. I'm out of here. Like, somebody's got to have some balls here. And you can see it spreading. Now Doug doesn't have balls in his play calling. He just, get by. Let's get by. Now we're like the Sixers all of a sudden. Like, we gotta get all these draft picks so we can just draft 17 centers. Let's draft 17 quarterbacks. Yeah. I get pissed because now you're talking about someone disrespecting this right here, man. You're disrespecting the Eagles, man. You're coming in here and you're like a Chip Kelly.
Jimmy, why are the linebackers struggling this year? I mean, why? No. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. Why are we having trouble with the run this year?
Because we have no damn linebackers.
Remember, there was linebackers here last year.
Yep.
There's actually like guys who could play.
Camus, Nigel, that's the 1,000 snaps right there.
Right there. Right there. You want to know why you stopped the run? Because you had at least adequate. You had adequate linebackers. Now you're at the point of egregiousness. Your best safety in the history of your franchise told you when you drafted Nate Gary it was a bad pick. It was a bad pick because the kid couldn't play football. It was a bad pick because you're trying to move a safety to a fucking linebacker.
Yeah,
and trying to be the smartest guy in the room again. Trying to outthink the world instead of just saying, you know what, this is the best player. This is the best player. Jalen Reagor, you guys, listen, people can like the kid. I hope he pans out, but I'm going to keep going back to who picked them. Who picked them. This is why I can't trust it. Can't trust it. Now, if I would have been yelling Jefferson, he took Jefferson, I would trust him more because I believe my eyes.
Yep.
I believe my eyes. I know guys argue with me on Facebook. Lamar Nelson, well, he had like the worst quarterback throwing him the football. I don't care. That's excuse-driven shit. Okay? I don't care that Justin Jefferson had the number 1 pick throwing the football. He caught 100 catches. He had 100 catches. I don't care that Patrick Queen played for a great defense. He was all over the football field. Yep. I don't care that Jerry Jeudy had Ruggs alongside of him or vice versa. I didn't care about either one. The only guy I knocked was CeeDee Lamb. Just because the Cowboys took him and then I wanted to be critical. Okay? But in reality, he can play too. So, you understand what I'm saying? Like, everybody could.
They're all good as hell.
So now it definitely looks like the guy you picked probably can't. Probably can't because everybody else can. That's the problem.
Oh, I don't think that's what that means.
It's like, yo, every guy hit in the first round, which means your guy, and it's a regular guy, he's going to stink. Jimmy, you understand? Like, I got to go back.
No, I get it. It's hard to see other players do well. I get it, man. It is. And it's tough when you wanted those guys. But I still think Reagor, when given the chance, will do well. But I get it. When he's not playing right now and you're seeing everyone else kicking ass, it's like, what the fuck? It's just making it worse.
We saw it last week with Chase Claypool.
Oh, dude. How many weeks have I sat here, Jake, and said, watch out for Chase Claypool? I said last week. And then I said T. Higgins. I said, man, wouldn't it have been great if we drafted T. Higgins?
I want to
and the kid kicks our ass. Yep. Logan Wilson. Every week we pick these players. I don't even want to talk about anyone this week because it's probably going to be Mr. Who he said. Patrick Queen. He's going to probably destroy us. And LJ Ford because we're assholes that love compensatory picks. Are you shitting me? And then you get rid of Sendeo. Yes, he did suck. For a compensatory pick, and you can't draft. Fuck you, Alex.
I've been saying that for years. I mean, there's a video that came up on the memories today for the family out there, all right, about Jalen Ramsey. And I yelled and screamed about why you give up the king's ransom for the best player in the position because you can't draft.
Yep.
Because you can't draft.
Yeah. Who cares about a pick? You can't draft.
Yeah, you decide to give that money then to Darius Slay, who I tried to tell you all is a very good corner, isn't as good as we're going to try to make him out to be. That's all. That's not a shot. Very good corner, not Jalen Ramsey level corner. There's a difference. There's tiers here. There's tiers. He's second tier corner in this league in terms of Ramsey. Like he's more like Slay's more like 10 to 15 range than he is top 10. Okay? All right? He could be a fringe top 10 or maybe fringer. I don't have to go through all the names, but fringe top 10. Right? Where you're talking about the best guy in his position. That's drastic when you're talking about 10 to 1. You know what I mean? So it's not a shot at Slay. It's just the point, though, that you didn't have to go out to free agency and address that because you could never do it in the draft anyway. So everything I told you to do last year, you didn't do. And then you said, oh, well, I'm just going to go. Now I'm going to go sign the guy because I love picks so much. I love picks. Okay. Or you trade for him and then you said, whatever, however you got Slay. I don't even care.
Yeah, that's the one good thing. You got rid of a third and a fifth for it. So that was pretty decent.
So what would you rather give up, Jim? Jimmy, what would you rather give up?
Oh, dude, give me Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, what would you rather give up? For a couple firsts. Hey, here you go. A couple firsts, or you ready to go third and fifth? Well, this organization.
Trust me, I'm with you.
Since we're taking crapshoots all the time and we're throwing.
Give me DeAndre Hopkins, baby.
Yeah. Since we're throwing dice all the time, we might as well just stick with our third, fourth, and fifth round picks and get rid of every 1 and 2 we have.
Yeah. For real. At this point, it looks like how he wants. I mean, the little fucker looks like he's starting to get his way, too. Like, I'm literally, like, I'm thinking violence. And, like, I'm getting pissed when I see him. I'm like, I don't like him at this point. And it was starting to grow as a point where you could see it throughout the weeks. I'm like, okay, I don't like him. Now I just don't like him. AJ Bouye. There's a lot of names you could try to add somebody that's random, a cornerback.
I've always liked AJ Bouye.
But again, I was just going to say, if we would want to trade for someone, I would be more than for that because I think Darius Slay would do so well if we had a number 2. We're leaving him out here to try to fend off like he is a top 5, and I don't think he is. I think he's in the 5 to 10 range for me, but he's not top 5 like Jalen Ramsey where you're leaving him on an island. Like he could cover some guys, definitely, but you saw last week. He was getting his ass smoked, and he was holding people. So if you have some safeties that can help, if you have another corner on the other side, things get easier for you. But That starts with the pass rush. It starts with this whole damn defense, man.
Well, they did a great job of getting the ball out too and making that adjustment early on. It's like we're not going to let you get to us.
Didn't we talk about that last week? I mean, that's what Big Ben does, and that's what they were going to do. And it's like, what the fuck are we? I mean, we're not getting paid that money to
Jimmy, you know what? The problem was we can never take away that first read of his. The whole Sunday, we can never take away his first read and make him have to go through a progression. Like, we allowed, like, first read out. Like, oh, my God.
Jalen Mills at cornerback, too, killing us, man.
Yep.
I mean,
even if Avante comes back, I don't like the CB2 position, and we talked about that, man. I thought Sidney should have – I'm pissed still, man, watching him ball out, and it's a different system.
They're all asking for corners out here. What the hell are we asking for corners for? We need
linebackers.
What the frick are we doing?
We bring in a kicker, a safety, and a punter. Now, I get the kicker and punter because it's for COVID-19 precaution, but it's like, dude, we need a line.
I don't like the kicker thing one bit.
No.
But it's freaking dork again. You signed the kicker to extension. Nobody even should smell in the building.
Tom, you commented like first, right? When I posted it, you commented first. And I was like, what the fuck? We were both like, what is happening? Wow. So the only reason I feel good is because they said they're just having them there just because of COVID things in case something were to happen.
All right, fair.
We'll go. I was pissed too, dude. Me and you were like, "Whoa!"
I don't believe his bullshit. He going somebody else blaming something on COVID. Here we go. Now
30-year-old virgins out there. This fucking I can't remember his name. Haralaha. He's coming in here. He's going to play linebacker for us. That's what they're doing. He's a converted kicker to linebacker because he saw that Nick Gary. I will punch Howie Roseman directly in the face myself, which is growing closer and closer. Losing it. 25th best. That's wild. Yeah, he's been struggling the last couple. So I agree with Tom. He's
riddle me who's won. Matt, just riddle me who's won. Or at least a top 5. Just riddle me who that guy is.
Who are you saying?
Oh, I'm just going to tell you Sidney Jones.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Number 1 corner in the league right now by PFF, Frank. Whatever. You guys know we take that all straight assault.
Yeah, we'll put him top 5 just in case PFF's a little off, right?
And he plays in a zone defense that fits him well. And look at him balling out. You try your stupid zone shit here and you couldn't make it work. Once again, I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Look at Rasul Douglas with the Panthers right now in his zone scheme. I've been saying it for years. He's a much better zone corner, and he's reaping the benefits right now. He's not a man-to-man corner. He never was.
Well, Jake, that's more on. Like, see, this is how I look at this, right? Mm-hmm. Now that is more on your general manager because now you have to draft per system, right? Mm-hmm. So you draft per system. So now when we're saying that ABC guys can't play. Now, I was a big Sidney guy. You guys know this. I thought I wanted him to still be here, so I'm not happy about it. But maybe one day they'll give me the GM job. I don't know. I'll be here for the people, though. Whoever you guys wanted would be on the field. But we wouldn't let coaches do it. We would all do it. But I digress on that. But what I will say is that then you have to look at the general manager again, guys, and say, this isn't bad coaching. Guys have their systems, and that's what got guys here. So to expect guys to all of a sudden say, my system sucks. We're going to go to a different system. No, you got to get guys that fit the system.
Yep. And they don't. They don't, and he doesn't, and that's why you're seeing guys like Jalen Mills being moved to different positions. You see guys that are moving around because it's like, what? I mean, anybody who gives a shit a little bit more about football than your average fan. You look at guys that fit system. Why do you think I sat here and said Jalen Reagor? Because I looked at who would fit the system. Now, I thought we'd trade back and acquire more to move up in the second so we could get another big receiver or some other pieces. But clearly, I was wrong on that. But, I mean, there's guys that fit systems. And this team doesn't give a flying fuck. Howie Roseman's like, look how smart I am. This guy, he's going to turn out so well. And it just hasn't happened for him. So I think the little turd needs to be kicked off his high horse here. And Jeffrey Lurie, man, this is you, man. Time to step it up. Where your balls at, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he has them. I mean, his first wife took them. So, I mean, I don't know.
True that. True
took them
that.
on the bridge.
So much for our PR access.
Yeah.
We love you. We love you.
Yeah, Jeffrey, Jeffrey.
We're busting balls.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey, you've been listen, he's a great owner here in terms of always being there and hiring the right guy. The only thing he screwed up with is his loyalty to Howie Roseman. Yes. Now, can you realize it again? Listen, I'll do it for 600,000. I'll take a little hit off the cap for him. You know what I mean? I'll take a little hit off the cap.
Did it with Andy.
How about that? How about that? That's like a presidential nominee right there. When I'm saying, hey, I'm going to give my salary away back to the football team because that's how much I want to get on Broad again. Let's get on Broad. Come on. No, but in real life, I'm not shitting on Jeffrey Lloyd because he's done a good job, but his loyalty to him has gotten in the way right now, and I'm interested to see how he's going to get himself out of it because I do not believe he will fire him. So it's got to be something contract-wise that's taken away of some fashion, or you bring people in to give them some more say. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes about it, though, guys.
Yeah. I mean, you said it there, though. You could disguise it without hurting his feelings in a way where you said earlier, give Doug some more. Like, hey, we're just going to give Doug a little bit more say. And then maybe bring in another guy, be like, hey, he's just going to help you with drafting because you suck. But yeah, we got to do something, dude. Put their money together to buy the franchise on draft night. Yeah, man. At this point, we'd probably do much better, and that's pretty sad because some of those fans out there are wild as hell.
Yeah, so
we could trade in our first round pick for Le'Veon Bell. So
Joseph's saying we all put our money together.
I'm with it.
Franchise, and then we would go off Facebook polls, and I think we have better success.
We would do better. We would do better
than Howie. Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to do better than X amount of GMs in football as a whole, but we definitely can outdraft this guy.
Yeah, this is pretty sad at this point. Like you said, he's trying to be the smartest guy in the room, and at this point, if they don't have a say, and he's just in there like, oh man, this is bad, and you can see it. We talked about it. You can see it. It's throughout the team here. Yeah. It doesn't, it's not just one position. We talk about right? We started off, Jake, talking about the offensive line. Well, I was high on Cushenberry as well. Another guy that could take over. He could be playing guard right now, waiting to take over for center eventually. But hey, I digress. We have Jalen Hurts, right? Every week we're gonna unfortunately have to talk about. And you know what we haven't got to? And dear God, it's been over. It's over half the show, and we haven't talked about DK Metcalf. Oh dear God, because that's something that I'll never be able to sleep at night. I saw somebody made a statement yesterday. It was like he is the new Megatron. I was like, that's salt in the wound. I can't sleep at night. JJ,
I don't know if I go there.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, but here's the thing.
I hope not.
He's got the opportunity to be that guy because he's a freak of an athlete, and we're watching how much better he is than Arcega-Whiteside. How many snaps did he have last week? 8, I think. It just keeps getting better, man.
It was like 18% of the offense or something like that.
Yeah, he had 8 snaps, and compared to guys obviously that were playing a lot more in Hightower and Fulgham, they had like 46 and 48. Yep. Not respectively, because Fulgham had 2 less than Hightower. But hey, Arcega-Whiteside sucks. So time to admit you suck. We're not going to Mac Hollins with this guy, dude. I'm not going to accept this dude just wasting a roster spot. When it comes down to Jeffrey and Jackson back, you cut his ass, not Fulgham. I'll beat your ass, and we're going to see how Fulgham does.
No, I just don't take the other 2 back. I just don't take Deshaun back. I would rather just. He's
an ending IR.
I would literally rather run JJ out there than Deshaun. I'd really rather say, you know what? I'm not saying you're any good, but I'm just going to let you ride out your contract before I give up on you and see if you ever can figure it the hell out to be the guy I drafted you to be, right? So I'll just say, screw it then. You're going to stay on my roster, even if you're my 6th wide receiver. I don't care because I'm just not going to, I'm going to see if you ever can play. I'm just praying to God that maybe him catching a ball last week, that maybe Carson trusts to go to him a little bit more, maybe. We will see, because a lot of it's targets. He hasn't been targeted a lot either. So it's a combo of I don't think you're any good, and targets. So maybe he starts to trust him a little bit more because he trusted Fulgham, and you saw what happened. So I think I'm not saying he's going to put up that. JD's going to do that. But I still think he can be semi-productive if maybe Carson can start. They can get a relationship going a little bit better. I think that's any quarterback and wide receiver. So the guy might still stink. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm for that. I wanted to believe in him this year, and I think that when given opportunities, he could excel. But at this point, I think the coaches think he sucks. I think Carson Wentz doesn't trust him, and I think it's the only reason he's out there is because once again, Howie Roseman. And I literally have tried to ride for the kid, and I agree with Tom where he said, let's ride it out this year. Why not? And at this point, with all those guys getting hurt, they're probably going to end up hurt again. So you might as well just keep what you have. So I definitely hear what you're saying there. I just, at this point, I'm so fed up with him. And he made that one at the end of the half there, which didn't matter because he wasn't out of bounds, but didn't get out of bounds. But it's frustrating because this kid was taking over DK Metcalf. And, he was red zone threat. Whatever, dude. Don't care what he did at Stanford. But Jake, what are your thoughts on what's going on here with Arcega-Whiteside and what do you see for his future?
Dude's a bust. I'm just going to lay it out there plain and simple.
JJ Redick.
There's no other way to put it. It's just, and it's going to, and I feel bad for the kid in the sense to where it's going to hinder him the rest of his career to where he could have been our DK Metcalf. Like if we didn't draft him and we took DK Metcalf instead, woo! Could you imagine? Could you imagine if we had DK Metcalf on this football team? Ugh.
Dude.
And it just left a worse taste in my mouth too when it was the clock was dialing down to halftime and the dude makes a catch on the sideline. He's literally like celebrating as the clock's winding down. He's like, "Hey, I caught it!" He's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he caught himself after a second, like, "Oh,
I forgot what to do."
Yeah,
I don't do this often. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, a catch. Oh my God. How embarrassing that Fulgham goes out and has like more catches almost than like half of his career. Oh, it's embarrassing.
It's disgusting, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. And it just goes to show you, I mean, that's back to Howie Roseman. If you would give Carson Wentz some weapons that he could trust, man, imagine a DK Metcalf. Imagine if you traded that first round pick and got DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, you missed out on that? Imagine if you traded that first and second and moved up for CeeDee Lamb. Oh, no. And now you got a guy that, honestly, I've talked about it a million times. I think Rager is going to be a future receiver that does really well for this team.
I hope so.
I think there needs to be an X receiver there for him to do that. Yeah. And Arcega-Whiteside's not that guy. Fulgham, we've seen 2 games. I mean, dear God, we need more. Need to see more from him, but anywhere even close to feeling that way. I still feel we need one. A guy that goes out there and just, I mean, if this kid can keep getting better, hell yeah. You see diamonds in the rough every once in a while. So, Hey, maybe it could be. But he's got the size. We just need to add more. And we're in limbo right now because we have these shitty old guys that keep getting hurt. And you put yourself in this situation years ago, Howie.
Yeah.
Well, he's the one who went out and drafted all these, these gadgetish wide receivers, and that's fine. But you need to bring some size around them, too, to complement them. And
yeah,
listen, when you have a catch radius, Carson trusts catch radius. He likes throwing balls up and making guys go get them. That's why his interception rate and stuff was always low, because he had guys that would go up and make catches for him like that. And I'm not crowning the kid. I thought the T-shirts were ridiculous. It's a way to capitalize on bullshit, and it's crowning too early. But that's my personal opinion. And that them T-shirts are made by guys that aren't football guys. And I'll say that a million times. So if you want to watch these people talk, fine. Do you, boo-boo. But I'm going to tell you that that's made by non-football guys. So anybody that made that shirt, because there's more than one person who did, you all should hand in your football card immediately. I want the kid to succeed too. But how pressed are we and needy are we? And that's like the neediest fan base of all time right there. That's like
wild.
That's like the guy who'll never get a date. That's the never get a date guy right there. All right. And that's ridiculous that we're crowning the guy and trying to capitalize on making money off a practice squad guy after 2 games. Boston Scott had a really good stretch after 4, didn't he? Last year, that was cute. We saw how that age once you get tape on a son of a bitch. So can we allow tape? Can we allow tape to work its magic before we just assume that? Listen, maybe he comes down and has 8 catches again. It'd be great, but realistically, what are we going to expect? We can't expect that again.
Yeah, I don't. You got Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, and Marlon Humphrey there, and those guys don't play, man. And right now they're allowing like 18th in passing yards, but don't let those numbers fool you. There's a lot that goes into that, and they are nasty. And Travis Fulgham, young man, you've got yourself quite a test, and it's great, man. You had the best PFF rating, 92.2, the best since Deshaun Jackson in 2010, something like that. Woo! I'm happy that somebody did something for Carson, because you get to see that Carson doesn't suck. You just need to have people around him, because Zach Ertz, I just saw the question was asked, where the hell has he been? We've been talking about it every week. Where has he been? And, this week, he looked like someone just stole his candy. He literally just yeah, I'm going to get out and do everything I do, work my hardest. I work so hard all the time. It's like, oh, man, don't seem so excited about it. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, this has no bearing, the contract, anything on it. It's like, dude, Zach Ertz is the key. If we can get Zach Ertz rolling, then the other receivers can flourish. So what can we expect, Tom, if you're still here?
I was going to say, let's get to some of the comments here because Jenna.
Yeah, man, what do you think about Zach Ertz this week? I mean, do you think that does he finally step it up against a really good Ravens team?
Listen, man, the guy's been playing sports for a long time, right? And he's sure he's had a lot of great coaches in his day. And a good coach would tell him, engage yourself, right? Have a little want to, right? Them things are needed, right? You can't sulk, and sulking shows. And a week like this, again, the defense like this, I need your best effort. What can I expect from him? I don't know. Jenna, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this guy anymore.
Yeah, it's scary. I agree with you, Tom. So that's where, we see him sullen like that. Like, you can't. And so you're right. You've got to sit down with yourself and really get it together because this is it. This is a huge week. And if you could step it up against this, then you're back, baby. You can get that flow going. But you need to get it going, dude. You have it. Jake, what are your thoughts on Zach Ertz, and what can he do, man? This is every week we're talking about this.
Yeah, just before I get into my point, the Astros just forced Game 7.
Oh, shit.
So
cheating their way in, man.
There's that. But, it's just one of those, like, you can tell by looking at the guy just as he's playing. It's just he's not in it. And I'm not trying to, like, assume things or anything like that, but that's just how it looks to me, plain and simple. And on that first Wentz interception of the Steelers game, he got bumped, and then he just gave up. If Ertz follows that route all the way through, he might have a catch or it's deflected, either or. But he got a bit of contact on that bump on his route, and then he just gave up on it, and then it turned into an interception. So it's just one of those things to where – and even during his press conferences, too, like Tom and Jimmy, you guys talked about. It's just you can tell he's not mentally not there. He's butthurt that he's not getting top 3 money. And well, if you want top 3 money, play like you deserve top 3 money. It's that simple. I don't know what you're bitching about. I don't know what you're complaining about. Play like you deserve it. And right now you're not. Right now you're not even in the top 10 right now. If I'm looking at your stats this season, you're not even in the top 10.
Oh no, he sucks right now, and it's bad, and that's not good when he and Carson Wentz had such a great connection. That's something we could rely on. People playing in fantasy like, hey, at least you have Zach Ertz. People that aren't Eagles fans always saying that. Now this year, I drafted Zach Ertz. What the fuck? It's like, hey, dude, if I knew, I'd tell you. Trust me, because I don't know what's happening. But in a sense, I do. The contract. You can say whatever the hell you want, but like we all just said right here, dude, we can see it. We can see right through you. Kittle's way better. We've talked about that a million times. Kittle and Kelsey are better than Zach Ertz. And if you want to be paid in that area, and I don't think he deserves anywhere near that, but if you want to be near it, even play better, dude. Just like Jake said, you can't go out and be a bitch and then be like, okay, I want money. It's like, that's not how this works. So I'm hopeful. Jenna and everybody else, we want him to step it up because if he steps it up, then Fulgham's allowed to get better, and Ward and the run game. And, they're 5th against the run. We won against number 1 against the run last week. And we talked about running the ball last week. That was my key to the game, right? Run the effing ball with Miles Sanders. I don't care if they're averaging, 74 yards per game allowed, 2.7 yards. Actually, it was 54 and 2.7 yards per carry, I believe. Dude, that's pretty good. Well, we had one run, 74 yards. It was great. But after that, that's everyone's excuse. Yeah, but besides that, he had like 6-7 yards on 6 carries. It's like, look, dude. Well, 10 more carries. But look, the thing is, you got to keep running to see how he does. You can't just assume the guy's in for 50 snaps and he runs the ball 11 times. Dude, averaging 7.3 yards per carry. I know that long run helped that. Dude, keep going and maybe he gets another one. Right. What is going on, Jake, with this run game? Why, they say he's healthy. That's not the problem. But, you're seeing Boston Scott came in, I think it was 7 snaps last week, and Corey Clement was 3 snaps. So they take away 10 there. He's in for 50, but you're only running the ball 11 times. What the fuck? Only pass. They're not even using the screen game, and it's killing me, dude. So let's hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I think it bleeds into our topic about Howie Roseman getting into the personnel to where it's like you see Miles do well, and you saw it in the San Francisco game too. You didn't even see him in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter where we could have potentially lost the game, and you saw last week to where he broke off on that. I think it was like a 70-something yard run. It's the longest run of his career so far, and we ran the ball I think 10 times after that. Now again, I'm speculating. I don't know if it's true, or I don't want it to be true because I'll throw something through a wall to where somehow during halftime, Howie's just like, Doug, just calm it down a little bit. Calm it down with the run a little bit. Just calm it down a little bit. He's like,
I'll beat his ass.
At this point, it's something you have to think about. But I really hope Miles does put it together because he's a very, very talented player and he has a very bright future here. But I'm going to switch topics and get back to the Zach Ertz point real quick. Now, if he continues to struggle, just hypothetically, if he continues to struggle and the Eagles continue to struggle and probably win maybe one game before the trade deadline, could you see the Eagles possibly, and this is for both of you guys and the fam, could you see the Eagles possibly trading Zach Ertz at the trade deadline?
I don't think it's fire sale time yet. And what's going on, Bobby? Thanks for tuning in, brother. We were just talking about him, so we're still going to get back on him. Ertz player of the game, he says. That's where it's going to come down to. We're going to need him to step it up. If he fails this game and he keeps failing, it's not going to look well for him. And I've been somebody that said I didn't think that, we would trade him. I thought we would try to restructure and make things better for next year and back end it. We already came at him with one of those. He was offended by it, did not like what they brought to the table. So, son of a bitch. Now he's crying before the season starts. Jason Peters giving him that drive to be a whiner. Thank you so much.
Your wife has more championships than you. Shut up.
Yeah. And look, dude, I just think that, this team, it's falling apart right now, and if that's the case, they honestly might. I don't think they're going to trade him, but I'm not taking it out of the realm of possibility like I was before. I think that there's definitely a chance if it keeps, we might have to because of the contract situation. He wants a new one, and if we could get somebody that's going to give us something, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying that, but unless he starts getting things clicking, man, it's quite the possibility. But I think Ertz does better with Goddard, and they understand that. So,
absolutely.
I just don't see it. But who knows?
If Goddard's open, then Ertz is covered. If Goddard's covered, then Ertz is open. It's one of those simple things. But again, I think we've seen it to where, at least in this small sample size, to where Dallas Goedert has shown that he very well is going to be the tight end of the future. And at this point right now, if Zach Ertz keeps struggling, like I said, come the trade deadline, the Eagles aren't winning football games, I'd say, honestly, fuck it. Why not? Get him something maybe similar to what Bryce is suggesting, maybe a third, and Hassan Reddick. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Hassan Reddick. He hasn't really played well, and he hasn't gotten many snaps, but I mean, he's honestly better than any of the other linebackers that we have right now. Me personally, I'd like to go for Christian Kirk. Throw a little draft compensation in there since your GM can't draft. So, I mean, why not?
I like Kirk, but we already got a small guy. I need a big guy, damn it. I need a big guy. And I like Kirk. That's a great name. But I wish we would have just took DeAndre Hopkins. My God. We talked about this, Jake. Like, we were getting so excited just even talking about it together. Like, DeAndre, Carson. We would be Super Bowl bound, baby. I don't care. I'm not going to harp about the past or get pissed off. But we don't have it. And now we're sitting here talking about Travis Fulgham getting T-shirts 2 weeks after again.
Yep.
Oh, yes. But that's where we're at. And I get it, guys. We're all hurting for football, especially this year more than any. But we can't get ahead of ourselves because then you know what happens. Because then if this kid has a bad game, then you're all back telling me next week why he's the worst player that ever played. We knew that we should have never had him. And it's like, dude, you should have never got your hopes up like that. So all I'm saying, and Tom and Jake, we're all saying here, pump the brakes. Let's see another great game. Let's see how you do against some really tough competition here. And I'm excited for you, young man. Keep it up, baby. Been playing great. But I need to see you do that against this competition here. And now that there's some tape against you, like Tom said, people adjust and you see that they figure you out and you don't do like Boston Scott having a grit. Oh wait, no, he's not. He sucks. So yeah, man, calm it down a little bit and let's see what this massively good. Okay. Not only they have John Harbaugh, man, and I can't stress enough how much I love the guy. I didn't even realize it's been like 20 years almost since this man, 23 years, I think it was,
something like that.
He was the special teams coordinator here. I was like, yep, I'm officially old as hell because I loved him. And wow, now he's doing so great, man. I'm happy for him. But oh my God, he's going to be bringing his cojones because he always does. But one thing about this team, they really, they run the ball. We all know that. They got a quarterback and they got 4 running backs. They've got Mark Ingram, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, and of course, J.K. Dobbins, the one that we've talked about so many times that it makes me sick. So they've got all these guys. The one thing they've struggled with is passing the ball. They're actually 31st in the league in pass yards per game.
Because he's a gadget.
Now, exactly. Yep. So what he does is he runs the ball and he hits you with these RPOs, these fake, all these play actions, dude. So what you need to watch out for is the gadgets. Now, what did we talk about earlier? We have allowed 150 yards to wide receivers on rushes and 3 touchdowns. That's disgusting. So this team, I saw Ryan, I think, mention him, Devernay. You talk about all these guys. They've got Miles Boykin. They've got, not the greatest, but Hollywood Brown. They've got dudes that you can do these trickery, and obviously you got Lamar Jackson. So they don't need to pass the ball. And Nate Gary, the one guy that they do throw it to, his name's Mark Andrews. So we can't have Nate Gary covering him. I made a joke this week. I said we need to have Nate Gary spying Lamar Jackson, and we need to have a spy on Nate Gary. So we'll spy Nate Gary with Nate Gary spying. So when Lamar, jukes Gary out of his shoes and Gary F's up the play, there's another guy there to stop. Now, obviously, I don't want 2 guys. That's a joke. Right. But they demand that he be on the field at all times. The only good thing that we have going for us at this point is, you guys know, the man I'm quite excited about. And thank God he's finally about to be he was medically cleared. He's about to play this Sunday. Will Parks. So what do you see, Tom, what do you see from Will Parks this week? Hopefully healthy, hopefully able to come in. Do you think that at least helps? Maybe he can cover. We talk about him playing that dime linebacker. Maybe he could shut down that Mark Andrews. Do you think that gives us more of a chance?
I mean, I would say anybody over Nate Gary covering anybody is going to give you a better chance, right? I mean, Will Parks is good. He's okay. He's not, it's a good guy to have because you thought he would make you deeper, right? When you had him, you didn't necessarily expect him to have to take like a ton of meaningful snaps for you, but it is what it is, and this is what you're up against. So at least it's a guy who's played in this league. I like his energy that he brings. So I'm a big fan of an energy guy. So listen, it's another guy back for this defense, and any guy you can get back anywhere on this football team will take. And hopefully he can have a role now. Or snaps going to be limited because he's been out for so long. Some of the cardio all there, right? So you wonder how all that is. But in terms of him helping us out, for sure, right? Absolutely. And listen, you just have to be creative, and you have to make him throw the football. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to figure out a way to make him throw the football. If he beats you by slinging it, then guess what? Hats off to you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. You got to shut down the run first. Obviously, we know that that's the key to the game. You got to make him one-dimensional. But Mark Andrews is that guy it throws to. So, like Tom just said, is he going to be limited? So are we going to have to see Nate Gary trying to cover, this guy? I'm praying not, because that's at least a guy we're getting back that can help us with Nate Gary, so that's our problem. Jake, how are you feeling about Will Parks' return? I know I might be a little excessive on the excitement just because I've been waiting for him so long, but Tom's probably right in the category of being limited here. So what are your thoughts on Will Parks?
Yeah. I'm excited. Obviously, he's a hometown guy, and everyone's going to be like, oh, he's a hometown guy. He's going to do great. But again, he's coming off a serious injury. So, again, you'll probably see him limited snaps, a handful of plays here and there. Now, again, if he makes a pick or a couple serious tackles, then I'll be all for it. But, again, I don't think we're going to see him in a major starting capacity. He'll just have a limited role, and then we'll bleed him more into the defense as the season goes on. But again, maybe he makes a play here and there, but I'm not expecting anything too crazy.
The only reason I feel that he's going to maybe have to is, you see the question here from Bobby, is he starting? No, he won't be starting. It's probably going to be Kayvon Wallace starting there again, and then you're going to have Jalen Mills at cornerback too, just because Avonte's out, and that's not good. But then you have Will Parks. He comes in as that third safety, but I think at times he's also going to be playing just regular safety rather than all these sub packages we talk about, linebacker, blah, blah, blah. But I think he might have to because Marcus Epps is out for this game. Rudy Ford was put on IR the other week. So we're down safeties, our other safeties playing cornerback. So Will Parks, this is when we need you, dude. So we're just hopeful at this point. We're talking about practice squad guys.
Sorry, Mr. Wiggins, I agree. I think he's quit on us. I think Ertz has quit.
Yep, this is the week, man. You either have balls against this Raven teams because they will beat your ass worse than the Steelers did. And that's no knock on how tough they are. But this team, if they saw you playing like a chump, they're going to come at you because they know you've been playing. Like Jake hit the nail on the head. It was that first hit. You saw it. And it was like, what the and you're like, oh, that was Ertz, of course. Yeah. Then you're like, he just played like a bitch the rest of the game. And you're like, oh, this dude just isn't a Philadelphia Eagle, man.
1 catch for 6 yards. Unbelievable.
Dude, what's your thoughts on Camus? Oh, man, I loved him.
I love Camus.
Made his place playing special teams, and then we get rid of him. I mean, that's the name of the game around here. Fuck, man. Tackled well. Yeah, man. Now he's doing well with Miami. LG Fort's doing well with the Ravens. I mean, Kendricks is looking to get picked up here. We won't pick him up, of course.
Well, he talked a lot of shit when he left.
Well, yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Nigel Bradley.
This, I mean, I would bring Nigel and
Nigel's the same. Yeah,
I'd bring them both back. You know what I mean? At this point, I'll shit back. But they both had to get cute and run their damn mouths, and now I can't bring. But even all that being said, I'd bring you back still.
Yeah, I need something at this point. Oh, it's rough, man. So, yeah, dude, I feel you. Oh, yeah, Corey. I'm telling you, man, it's rough. These linebackers, the fact that we sit here week in, week out, talk about how we put no stress on it. And then you hear Jim Schwartz, how telling that was, like, why aren't these guys out here? Like, you're drafting guys to replace the guys you get rid of. We talked about Camus and Nigel. I think it was 700 snaps for Nigel Bradham and 300 defensive snaps for Camus. That's a lot of snaps to lose. Sure, he was injured last year, but thing is, he still provided something and would have provided something right now for a team that is being forced to play Nate Gary, Duke Riley. I like Alex Singleton. And we talked about him getting more snaps, and he has been growing pains. That's fine. But what the hell, man? You draft Damian Taylor in the third over so many good players. Linebackers, even to keep Davis. They're guys that are starting in this league already. And this guy hasn't even seen a single snap. Sean Bradley played 2 the week before and then 4 last week. Oh, made a couple good plays, actually. But we're not even using these kids. What's happening here at the linebacker position, Jake?
It's just that it's laughable, to be honest with you. It's a disgrace. You're playing pretty much practice squad players and special team guys. If you'll let me, I meant to mention this earlier. There was a segment from the article we were talking about earlier. Here it is. The Eagles are too reliant on linebackers who are special team guys to now play defense. Harry Roseman doesn't believe in strong linebacker play. He believes you can get a linebacker anywhere. Jim goes from having a defense with strong linebacker play to what he has now because of Howie Roseman pretty much not putting value into the position. So thanks again, Howie. Thanks again.
Yep.
Beat your ass, dude. We're doing it. We're finding him, dude.
This went from a week 5, week 6 preview show to basically an anti-Howie Roseman show. I love it.
It's insanity. This is what they do to us, man. And we talk about Eagles fans being crazy, guys. That doesn't mean that we're not included in that. Driving me crazy. I can't believe that this is happening. We were so confident, so excited, and we didn't get ahead of ourselves like a lot of people. I saw a really good practice tape, Super Bowl. It's like, look. We got a lot of work to do, but if we stay healthy, if we get this talented team, didn't stay healthy off the bat. Yeah. Didn't get anybody. Nope. Once again, here we are, throwing people in the fire again. It's just, what the So, Tom, what are your thoughts on this linebacker? Why? Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen, we're about to face LJ Ford.
It's not valuing it. It's thinking that anybody can come in and play. It doesn't matter. or getting caught with your pants down. A combo. So listen, I have no words for it anymore. I really truly don't. You can't be this inept at a position and have no. There's nothing that tells me that you're going to address it even next year.
Yep.
So I mean, I can't talk about the linebackers anymore.
Oh man.
You know what I mean, we talk about jumping off the cliff. I'll start jumping, and I don't want to jump yet.
I mean, we don't want you to, brother, and it's annoying to talk about it. And Bryce, we're just, I'm not saying your question's annoying. I'm just saying it sucks because we talk about putting an emphasis on it, and this team doesn't give a flying. And you mentioned Kenneth Murray, yes, great. Well, even if you don't take a linebacker in the first round, in the second round, I couldn't stress enough how much we needed to do whatever it took to get Jeremy Chin due to the fact that this guy is just like Jamal Adams. You got this guy lining up as an edge rusher. You got this guy lining up as an outside linebacker, as an inside linebacker, as a nickel corner, as an outside corner, and then finally his actual position, a safety. Are you a box safety? Like, are you kidding me? This kid he's perfect for this defense. Like, we talk about Will Parks. Are you kidding me? This is the specimen that Will Parks, we could pray to God, could even be like. This kid's, I have him on my fantasy. We play with defensive players. This kid's pretty damn good. I can't. I'm sorry, Bryce. I think I'm going to join Tom in the whole, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted. I'm annoyed. The only other option you have is to play Rodney in the box, but that hurts you in areas. So, it's a train wreck.
Yep. That's why we need Will. He needs to play in that box, and we need Rodney to play the free state. But it's still like, what the we could have not had these issues, and you chose to ignore them, and because we're a quarterback factory. So what?
In case you forgot.
Yeah, and how we watched us win a Super Bowl, Joseph says here, giving up 600 yards. Yep. Decided that the defense wasn't a great point. And we talk about the pass rush just it wasn't important. Let's thank God Derek Barnett's healthy, but what if you weren't? Oh my God. And then, I wanted to get to this. Talking about forming a pass rush for the future after getting rid of Sharif Miller, after getting rid of all these pieces to keep your 7th round pick because you love your draft pick so much. You go ahead because you're such a jackass and you cut a guy like Casey Toohill, who everybody knows is a freak athlete, a guy that could definitely grow into something special. And you let the Washington football team take him rather than giving up a guy like Jason Huntley, who played one snap week 1 and has never played again.
Yep.
Are you shitting me? Blow it up, start over. I'm not ready to do that, Gator Country, but look, at this point, I always got to go.
Closer than I was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yep, 100% with you, Tom. Like Jake just said, Ertz, I'm right there. You said earlier, Wentz, as much as I want to sit here and say, no, love them, and they are our future, like a little child holding on for dear life, like, you're not taking that. It's happening, dude.
If we don't win a game heading into the bye week, I might be right there. I might be right there.
I haven't I don't want to speak that into reality.
Everybody might be gone. You might get a first for Wentz, you might get a second or third in a player for Ertz, you might get something for Fletcher. I'm telling you, they might get everybody out the door.
I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to put it in the air, but it's literally when I said earlier, I've been looking at the rest of the schedule. I'm like, dude,
where do you find a win? Yeah.
Like, I love you guys, all of you, and I love my birds more than anything, dude. And I will go to the grave wearing my Dawkins jersey. I love my birds, but let's be realistic here. It'd be like being on fire right now. And someone's like, dude, I'm going to throw some water on you. You're on fire. Like, you know what? I'm good. I don't even feel anything right now. It honestly doesn't even burn. Mm-hmm. It does. And put the fucking fire out. And that's Howie before I put him out because I can't take this. What are we doing? I watched college football in high school. My God, I could. Bryce.
Yeah.
We put time into it, and I'm somebody that takes a lot of time, and especially this year, I had all the time in the world to do the draft. I love the draft. I love watching players. I love watching prospects. I enjoy them watch them on other teams too. I enjoy watching people succeed in life, and what I don't like is when I watch certain kids where I'm like, this kid, he's going to be a star, and we should definitely get him. And it's like, oh, Alvin, come on. Oh, I mean, we can go back to Russell Wilson. It's like, oh man, this team they have made me want to put my head through a wall. This ain't year one, baby. This is 34 years of wanting to jump off a cliff again. And oh my God, it's just bad because we got a taste of it in 17. And Tom said it earlier. When you get a taste, you expect greatness. Damn it. And this is what we get. Howie, a turd who's never played football in his life, telling Jim Schwartz and Doug Peterson who he's going to put on the field. You're shitting me.
Oh,
Shitting me.
It's amazing when you have a football guy as your GM, right, Jimmy? Like, look at John Lynch in San Francisco. He's not doing too bad. I mean, what's his name with the Raiders? Oh my God, I forget. Mike Mayock, who I wanted as a GM, and
football guy, man. Say what you want.
He's doing.
Yeah, let's get Lou Riddick. Can we harass Lou Riddick and
who?
Daniel
Lou Riddick
Jeremiah?
was here? You know what I mean? Lou Riddick was here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's get him back. Howie's keeping his job over guys like Eric Berry, who goes over to the Browns and gets all these great pieces. I'm just tired of it, man. Like, It's Howie. It's Howie. Like, and this goes on Jeffrey to be like, okay, you know what? Wake up, dude. Wake up and smell the shit. Mm-hmm. Drives me crazy. Getting sad. Auto draft. Dude, at this point, we said it, dude. My 10-year-old could draft better than him. He knows what we're looking for. I mean, he knows when you look, okay, this is the weakness on my team. So, and look, when sometimes there's not a weakness, but there's a guy that just jumps off the screen, you're like, holy shit, my team's going to be awesome with this guy. You draft him. I can't do it, guys. Yeah. I'm getting so pissed off.
I hear you.
Yes, man. Jeffrey and DJX, I agree. Ertz is definitely looking like it. Kelsey's going to retire either this year or next. We have no left tackle. I wouldn't agree there. I think Mailata is proving that he's going to get another test here. He's proving that we have a conversation at least.
Dillard, I mean, he gave up 2 sacks last week, Jimmy. Sorry to cut you off, but I mean, he gave up 2 sacks against a hell of a pass rusher in Bud Dupree. But I mean, minus that, he played played well. Yeah, he played well.
Exactly, he did great, and he's going to push Dillard. You know, and that's what we needed. Somebody that this kid needs to come back next year, and we don't know if he sucks or is great, but we need to know something.
On Howie Roseman.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, you know, this kid is someone that fits the system. He just needs to be able to run block, so they needed him to gain weight. So he added like 15, 20 pounds. I think it was around 18 of muscle. Well, the thing is, now you're maybe lifting too much. Whatever you did, now you hurt yourself, and that was actually stupid on management to have him out there because he already had a shoulder problem. And then he's out for the season. So whether he sucked or not, now we have no idea. So you effed us. So if we need a lineman next year, you know you're not going to draft it. What do we need offensive linemen and linebackers for? It's very important and pieces we're missing.
Right.
I mean, we weren't at the time, but who are we kidding? I mean, it's all old guys on that line, dude, minus like Sayamalu, who's maybe got more time. And then Dillard, who they finally, you know, he was claimed to be the left tackle and JP, the right guard. That's one. And let me get to the rest of this question. I think we might as well trade Wentz for no.
Hey.
And if it gets to it, maybe. But
listen. I'm never in the business of trading 11. But if this is a train wreck, which it's going, like it's going to be
heading that way, yeah.
You know what? I'm trying. Listen, the only way I'm doing that though is if I fire my general manager then. So
that's what I mean. I'd rather build some weapons around this kid and be like, okay, wait, I have a really good quarterback and my GM sucks. That's what I'm hoping for. So trade, I hope someone needs a quarterback like Hurts, and I hope we can find something and save ourselves from that. And I hope we can save ourselves from Howie, find him another corner office. I really just think he needs, you know, and he doesn't want to fire him because of the loyalty thing. So fine, let him work the trades. Give him the office phone. I don't care, man. Just bring some guys that have played. And I'm not sitting here saying that if you never played the game, you don't know anything. I know a lot of guys that have never played that know stuff. But I'm just saying, when you played the game, like I played receiver, I played safety, I played returner. I understand those positions a lot better than a lot of the other positions like offensive line. Now, I've learned a lot about the offensive line, thanks in part to Trey Thomas. But I'm just saying, you know, those are things you know. So these guys that have played just so happen to know about the game they played. Wild idea. Not this little turd who's great with accounting. Yeah, that's great because guess what? I'm great with numbers too. Thing is, you need to have a whole plethora of other stuff because numbers mean about this much to me. You take all that stuff with a grain of salt. But it's nice to have some things to talk about. But my God, when you start holding on to things like that, this is what you get. This is what you get. It's not good. 6'7" bodyguards. I'll beat their ass too, bro. I don't care. Honestly, I'll drop everyone right now to get to Howie Roseman. I don't care who it is because he needs to catch that ass whooping. And it's the only thing that's going to happen. Dungeon Doug and Jim Shorts. When people call him that, I laugh every time. I don't know why. It's so funny. But I really feel that Doug and Jim, that we're seeing why. Tom said it. We're finally seeing why. What's going on. And I think if this little turd, we didn't realize it would, at first we're just pissed about the drafting and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's like, oh shit, it's worse than we thought. This dude's out here telling them who's practicing. You're kidding me, man. You're kidding me, right? It's like the kid whose dad, like he's the principal or like a cop or something. So he's like, I'm going to tell you what to do. And you're like, oh, son of a bitch. Because you got to listen, but you're like, I'm just going to get in trouble. But somebody's got to step up, dude. Just knock this little shitbag out. And that's when things change, man. Everybody's going to listen. Because even then the dad's listening. He's like, you know what, kid? You got to stop being an ass clown, Mm-hmm. So we need Jeffrey to see the light from somebody, man. But Tom had a great point earlier when he said, Doug Peterson, he tried before. He said about Carson and Mike will not be getting fired. They will not. And then they were fired the next day.
Yep.
So it's been a wild ride. And yeah, we're hurting from the last week. Trying to get pumped about this week. Now, what are you thinking? What are our keys to success here, Jake? We're going to get into the scores and our key players here coming up at the end of the show. So who is your offensive player for this game that's going to step up for us and really step out even,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with me, and again, it could just be the excitement and the momentum, but I'm going to stick with Travis Fulgham. He played well against Joe Hayden and that entire Steelers secondary, who's arguably a top 3 defense in all of football. Now, again, he's going against Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, who's going to obviously bring more of a test. But again, I think he still continues to impress. I don't have the Eagles scoring that many points, but I think he's the standout player for us offensively.
Love it. Tom, who do you got standing out on the offense for us?
Well, I mean, it has to be either Ertz or Miles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with Miles Sanders again. I went with him last week. I need I need him to have a big game. I need him to engage himself offensively. And I have this team scoring a few points, but not many. And you'll hear my prediction in a minute. So,
yeah, and it's a great point. I went with Miles as well last week, and that's the key again for me this week, where you got to run the ball. Don't care if they're 5th in the run, allowing like 92 yards per game. Wonderful. Don't care. Run the ball. You set up all the rest of the stuff. We could say it over and over again. So, with Tom taking Miles, I'll go with Jack Driscoll. You're coming in right now. We don't know how long Lane Johnson's going to be out. So we need you right now to figure out, okay, I did this before and I can do this again. Now I'm going against some pretty damn good edge rushers, but these are guys that I could definitely take on because of the talent I've already faced. So I'm going to come out here, play my ass off, allow this run game to get going, and then allow myself to get better in pass protection. Allow this pass game to open up. So Jack Driscoll, man, we're going to need you on that right side to anchor it over there. Allow things to get easier for Jamon Brown playing in his first game as a Philadelphia Eagle. So, dude, I'm going to go with you, Jack. Let's see a big game for you, buddy, and let me feel good about our future. That was somebody I talked about in the draft that I could see taking over for Brandon Brooks, but hell, maybe this guy takes over for Lane eventually. So, yeah, I'll go with him. Yeah. Now, offensively, we know we got to get the ball rolling against this tough-ass defense. But this offense we're going against, my God, and the trickery has been killing us. That's something we've been talking about all show. So, Tom, the defense needs to step it up. So, who do you have stepping it up on defense this week that could be our key to success?
Well, I mean, it's got to be up front, right? I mean, you gotta penetrate early and try to blow things up. So I'm going to go to the middle of our defense, and I'll go to my $100 million man again. I mean, this is a game where he's got to create a ton of havoc and allow other guys to make plays. So hopefully he does, and it's a key part to us winning this football game on Sunday.
Love it. Yeah, and you're 100% right. Jake, who do you have standing out for the defense this week against the Ravens?
I did have Fletcher Cox, but I'm going to go to the guy that's standing next to the $100 million man, and that's Malik Jackson. I need, and hopefully we have both of those guys stepping up and playing a little bit. Now, obviously, you're going to cause a little more trouble getting Lamar Jackson outside of the pocket, but that consistent pressure can create turnover. So we need that pressure if we're even going to have remotely a chance of beating the Ravens on Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. And, that goes on Jim. So I think if we could all pick coaches, we'd do that. But it's like, Jim, I think you got to get a little creative. Definitely start blitzing again. I know you've been adding more in the weeks. So get after him. If you get that pressure in the middle that these guys are talking about, watch out. He's going to go outside. So have people ready, have guys there. For me, I think it's going to be Will Parks, and whether or not he's, and I love the defensive line, that's my baby as well. So starts up there. So if you guys are picking that, I'll drop back. Having him, I think he's going to be limited, but he might not be able to just with all the injuries. I think Graylin Arnold might be brought up from the practice squad and maybe actually used for once on defense. He's gotten to test the waters on special teams, but I think Will Parks could step it up and save us in an area where Mark Andrews could be killing us. And I'm not saying he might not still get burnt and stuff, but I'm hoping that he at least puts a bandage on that wound that is Nate Gary. So I'll go with Will Parks in this one. I'm praying. I've been excited about him. So hoping the best for him. And even if he only plays a handful of snaps, I'm still hopeful that he comes out and gives us a little bit of hope for this D. Now, we are down to the old score predictions. I've got a wild one for you. But, these things, they always kill me because I sit here and I change my score 3,000 times until I finally all right, you got to have one for the show. So try to be confident in my birds, but I try to be realistic. And I know you guys do the same. So I love it and respect. And I love this part of the show. Jake, why don't you lead us off this week? What do you have as the outcome of this game? 1:00 Sunday, our house with fans in attendance, about 5,000 to 6,000. Mm-hmm. Who do you have winning this game?
Yeah, again, I think having fans even in a small capacity will help the Eagles offense and defense kind of play a little bit up to par per se, and that's a slight up to par with the Baltimore Ravens. But they might start off hot, but I don't see them continuing it through the entire game. They're going to struggle. They're just so tricky. You have Lamar Jackson. You have so many weapons, and their defense is a whole different animal. You have the rookie and Patrick Queen, like we talked about earlier, who's having a phenomenal season. Their D-line's an issue. Their secondary is arguably the best in all of football. I just don't see really how we even score points, let alone get past a 3 and out. But again, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday can happen, but right now, I just don't see how this team can even step up to the Baltimore Ravens. I have the Eagles losing 35-10 at home.
Okay. Man, and that's a whooping that you got us taking. And I'm with you on the sense that I think the fans can bring that energy they need. It's definitely weird. But yeah, I'll give them a little edge, and they need something. So that's bad, man. 25 points. Tom, what are you seeing going down this Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, what Jake says makes the most sense, right? You know what I mean? It would be getting your ass kicked. I think somebody said it might be Chrome 7 inactives, never a good thing, right? So it's all adding up to you struggling against a football team that's better than you and healthy, right? So that all sets up to me as almost like maybe a letdown game for the Ravens. And this would be a type of game we would win, too. All we talked about tonight was how bad everything is, right?
Yep.
That's all we talked about, and rightfully so. That's all we should have talked about tonight and every night this week. Not good things going on here. Mm-hmm. And then we come into a game where we have no right winning, a big-time home dog, right? And you find a way to win a football game. And that has to start with you taking the football away. It's the only shot you have in this game. You take the football away, the Eagles can win this game. Now, I'll say 20-17. It would be one of them. You'd have to be a low-scoring game, right? I think we can all agree on that to be able to win this football game. So that starts with your defense, where all your money is, blah, 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 blah. They got to come shut down Lamar Jackson. We're going to find out. I mean, Jake's score makes more sense. But that's why Vegas is rich. You know what I mean? Right. So we're going to find out.
So what did you say, 2017?
20-17.
Yeah,
Yep.
get this. Okay. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'll give you my score prediction. I sat here all week. I was like, damn it, dude, I hate this. And I did at one point. I did have us losing. And as hard as it is for me to stomach that, I had it at first. I was thinking 37-27. And I was like, damn, I can't do this. And I thought about it. 7 inactives. You're talking about the 2 offensive linemen, right side of both, holy hell, Jamon Brown, Jack Driscoll in there. It's a little bit different, even though Pryor has struggled. Then you're looking at the 3 guys on defense. You got a starting linebacker in Riley. You got a corner, Vontae Maddox, and then safety help, Marcus Epps. So that's huge. But you get a guy like Will Parks back. He brings that energy. You're hoping Quez Watkins maybe gets a couple more snaps and helps John Hightower get a little better, helps Travis Fulgham get a little better. More weapons, the merrier. And like Tom said, if Zach Ertz can get going, if Miles Sanders can get going, if we can get the guys that are actually key players going, then the rest of the guys can feast too. So I started thinking about it, and I just honestly was like, you know what? This team, if we can shut down their damn run and we can finally learn to go against trickery, I honestly feel, and we have trouble with these kind of quarterbacks, so I'm trying to be positive here. Yep. But it's going to be a close one, and I have it as another weird score this week. But I have 24-22 Eagles, and I just think we need to shut them down, hold Justin Tucker to some long field goals, try to come out, get Lamar Jackson rattled. Obviously, that's a hard thing to do. The guy's amazing, so you better figure it out. You better have your corners tackling. Everybody better stop being a big biatch and start tackling. I don't want to see any of – you can't. You won't. You won't win against Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson running down your effing throat. And the trickery, all the other stuff coming at you, get it under control. People need to stay where they're supposed to be. Nate Gary, you need to learn to find out where, okay, this is the play. This is what I do. This is my role on this play. Stay where you're supposed to be. I really can't stress enough how many issues I've seen on this defense that it's literally just stupid mistakes where you're like, holy, this team could actually be good and we could actually be winning if it weren't for these little mistakes. So I love that, you got to force turnovers. I mean, we stress that every week. I think we're actually giving up the most turnovers, like 2.2 per game. That's fantastic. And then we're only taking away 1 per game. That's not good. And I think it's the opposite for them. So they're taking away like 2 per game and only giving up 1. We need to get turnovers. You need to figure it out. You need to get that interior push that you guys both talked about. I've been loving it, since these guys have been getting healthy. Talk about Fletch, Malik, and then even the guys behind there, dude. Look at Javon Hargrave finally getting healthy and coming into his own. But Hassan Ridgeway, man, the guy when he gets his down. What did he have? 24 snaps last week? I mean, hell yeah, dude, get some. I like that. Edge rushers, we're going to need you to contain. We need you to contain Lamar Jackson. I know that's hard, but that starts with the middle and then contain. And then we don't have to rely so much on Nate Gary. Oh, God. I fear that that's what they're going to do. He's going to be spying him, and I'm going to, dude. We might all have to buy TVs after this weekend.
Maybe.
Real with you.
Maybe.
But 2-point game is what I got it at, man. And I only came up with that because it's probably going to be dumbass stuff with Doug going for 2 at one point when we're only down by 6. Like, you know how it is. It's just like, what? How does that make sense? Fine and dandy, but I love it. Let's just hope it's not another tie because last time we split like I'm not doing that. I don't want to see it. And what I do want to see is some heart because that reality is going to sink in. If we get our ass kicked here, everything you guys have said, it gets more realistic every week. Yep. We can sit here and lie and tell you, all right, this is fine. Ertz is here. 11's not going anywhere. That's a bold-faced lie. They just drafted a quarterback in the second round, and a couple years before that, they got Dallas Goedert, who could replace Zach Ertz. So if you think those things can't happen, if you were doing good, I'd agree with you. Problem is you're in cap hell, and you're doing bad, and you've got a little turd that's in control of the ship, and he looks like he's taking it right for that glacier, baby. Grab your life raft, guy. We're going down. I'm scared as hell. If we win this game, though, Tom, that's why I have us winning. Because this is the kind of game, like someone mentioned in the comments, I mean, this is the kind of game you win. Yep. Backs against the wall. We got scrubs playing. Those are the guys that actually want to play and have a job. So, here's your chance, dude. Fill me in about the report. Yeah, see, Swizz, we've been talking about it all night. Apparently, Howie's in there telling who's going to practice. Don't draft this linebacker. Don't draft this safety. Don't do that. He's pretty much, so you got to hear Tom pissed off, Jake pissed off, me pissed off, talking about how much this little shitbag is ruining this team all across the board, telling coaches what to do. I can't. Tom, why don't you tell C-Swizz a little bit about how
And he has control over who plays on Sunday. He has control over who plays where on Sunday. He has control over all draft picks. He goes against everything his head coach says in the war room. Do I need to continue?
No, just wanted to see if you were feeling how I was feeling.
Yep.
Howie has us to the brink of we're going to riot. I'm literally getting so pissed off because it's not just the drafting. It's what Tom said. He's telling people who's playing, where they're playing. One part you might have missed was when Jim Schwartz was asked about, hey, why is Davian Taylor not playing? Why are we only seeing Sean Bradley? Because you said that you put an emphasis on linebacker, because Nigel Bradham's not here. Camus Gruget's not here. Hill's not here. Well, but you're looking at this. Why are they not here? And he says, that's not my decision. How is it not your decision? Who's playing on your defense, dude? How is the GM not like, oh, you know what? You know your defense better than I do. But in his mind, it's his defense. That's his. That's my toy. Mine.
Everything's his.
So, yeah, we're pissed. That's pretty much where it's at. And I'm hoping that this team hates him so much. And it's one of those things that maybe he does get fired. Maybe this team finally realizes it. And all of a sudden, that gives us the spark. Like you saw what happened to the Texans. They got rid of Bill O'Brien. These dudes are partying. Hey, group chats going wild. They're out there beating ass. It's like, yeah, sometimes you got to actually just play as a football team. Wow. Yeah. Go figure. Play to your strengths. Unreal. You never would have thought. Yeah. As long as we make the playoffs come close. Here's the thing, Ted. I think this little turd, if Jeffrey doesn't change his mindset, he's still going to be here whether we make the playoffs or not. And that's what's scaring me. So unless we see a complete dumpster fire, which is why Jake said he doesn't really want to, but he kind of does. And I kind of feel what he's saying because we got to get rid of this guy or it's going to be a long time and we're going to miss out on this quarterback that's so good and we're going to miss the opportunities, man. We're going to miss it. And that breaks my heart. So, Ted, kick Howie's ass if you see him. Because I swear to God, call me. Let me know if you guys find him on the streets. I'll take care of it. And, if I would have known this years ago, I was actually got to go to an open practice. My brother's like, yeah, there's Howie. And he was walking by, and I was just like, what's up, Howie? Didn't say anything. So the next time I was in a wheelchair, I called his ass out, got him to come over, shook his hand. I told him, one day, I'm going to work for you. I made a mistake. What I should have said was one day, I'm going to take your fucking job because you suck. And it's driving me insane that this is happening right now because I don't want to believe it. So let's go get this win against the Ravens and get this team feeling like Doug Peterson, man. You got to, at this point, get that fire. And you got to just be like, dude, I understand that this is what they're doing to us, but this is what we have to do. Or we're going to be the laughing stock of a division that's a laughing stock. Mm-hmm. Unacceptable, man. Kvecki says here that Kavakai, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Andre Dillard, I can't tell you because I don't know. He added the weight he needed to. They said he got stronger. Trey Thomas was really pumped up to see what he had seen. So I was all about seeing it, but I didn't get to see anything. So I have no idea, man. I don't think he's a bust yet because he needs a chance to prove himself first. What do you guys think?
I mean, a guy that cries.
Howie picked him.
Guy that cries in his first practice at training camp after he's drafted doesn't really leave a good taste in your mouth. But again, it's one of these rare situations to where you have a dude from Australia who's never played football a day in his life that could possibly beat out your job.
Wow.
If he continues to play well. Welcome to 2020.
But that's a good thing. At least we have some competition. So Dylan better get his shit together.
Yeah, welcome to 2020. Yep. That up.
I mean, if you want to touch on it, Tom, I know you pretty much let that.
Yeah, I said it many times. I mean, it looks like it. Looks like a rat. Smells like a rat.
Well, if Howie picked him, it's not a great thing, especially because all these guys are either hurt, and that's what's crazy. Oh, they're so good when they're playing. Well, even Dallas Goedert right now isn't playing. It's like, son of a bitch, dude. Like, nope. 7-8, win the division. It could, man. Now that the Cowboys don't have Dak, this division's bad.
Wide open. It's wide open.
It might be that bad. And I told you at the beginning of the show, I made a joke. It's the only division where if you win it, you make the playoffs. If you don't win it, you get a top 10 pick. So, Jesus, you might not want to at this point, because if it's now I've said it, I'm not giving up yet. I'm not ready to talk about the draft. I'm with Tom on that because I want to see this team turn around. I want to see you get pissed and beat up on the Ravens, and then you can just demolish the Giants, then the Cowboys. Then you have a bye week to get prepared, beat the Giants' ass again, and then I think it's the Browns. And then you have a really, really, really tough test after that. So all those games after, if you can at least build some momentum, I'm not ready to give up on you yet. I'm ready to see these guys get healthy, and maybe some of these young guys, like you said, Mailata's stepping up. Maybe Fulgham keeps proving it. Maybe Ertz finally comes into his own. When Goddard comes back, then we get even better. So I'm not ready yet, but I'm damn close to it, boys. So it's been a great night. I can't thank all of you enough for tuning in. We love having you every Friday. Jake and Tom, love having you guys every Friday. It's always a great time. I really just wish we could have more than one win so far to indulge in. But that lies on you, birds. We need you to get your head out of your ass, and we could sit here and bitch about Howie. But when it comes to Sunday, those boys need to go out in the field and play some ball. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. I hope you all have a safe weekend. But I'm going to give this opportunity. Jake, do you have any final words before we head out?
Just pray. Just pray for Sunday. Hopefully it's a good competitive game. I'm hoping it's not what I predicted, a 35-10 loss. But again, maybe the fans will help more than we think. But again, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, we need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Tom, any final words, my brother?
Yeah, I got one. This fucking Crumb
Yeah.
on the EDP. Crumb.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, bandwagon fans don't describe who we are.
yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Yeah.
That's an embarrassing question. I think he sucks. And any Eagles fans that follow him, I don't know how you do it, man. I saw him on Talk 1.0, and I was like, nope.
He just knows what gets clicks, and it puts money in his pocket. That's what it is more than anything. Whether he believes it or not, he says outrageous shit. He does outrageous shit to get clicks, and it works. So
he's the Dollar General ESP.
Absolutely.
And EDP. They're going to make a tag team, dude. EP gang. I don't even – it's bad, the clickbait and all that stuff. So my final thoughts are just keep tuning in here. We'll give you some real content from some real Eagles fans, and we always keep it real. You have people picking other teams because we don't sit here and try to be – I'm not lying to you. I think if this team plays with their back against the wall, they could definitely get a win. So just trying to put that positive energy out there, guys. Corey, go Birds, baby. Don, everybody else that commented, tuned in, or just watched, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Let's get this win this weekend. Mm-hmm. Check out our doc, Dr. Paul Vidal at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. You can find them in the Cherry Hill, Princeton, Burlington, New Jersey location, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Also check out Ambuck Services. They are the gutter and deck guys of New Jersey. Check them out at ambuckservices.com. Also check out all A2D gear at phillydrinkers.com or anywhere on social media, Philly Drinkers. Thank you so much for all tuning in, and have yourselves a wonderful night. And as always, go Birds!